everybody, and welcome to the Heights tonight. Thanks for being here with us tonight and getting to know Ed Turanchik a little bit more. Got some feedback here. Sorry about that. Well, I'm going to try this other mic. Because, this is a live event. We're live streaming on Ed's website, edturanchikformayor.com, and we're real excited about that. We want to thank our friends from Tampa Digital for making that happen. Because really the whole point of tonight is for all of our friends out there in Tampa who are trying to figure out what's going on in this mayoral election to really get to know Ed. He's got amazing ideas to energize our economy, everything from jobs and entrepreneurship to urban development, which you'll hear about tonight. Transit's a big issue. And so we've taken questions from folks online, and we want to take questions from you live tonight, which here's the mic to do it. Whenever you feel like you've got a question, come on over here and Ed will answer it. We want to just be really casual. We've got the bar here on the beautiful river overlooking downtown. So please take advantage and enjoy the evening. I want to thank my co-hosts here, first of all, the Heights, for having us at this beautiful venue, this space tonight. It couldn't be more perfect. And I'd like now to introduce Ed Turanchik. Welcome. Thank you for being here, Ed.
Thank you very much, Julia.
And just to get things started, Ed's going to just talk for a few moments about what he's about, and then we'll start with the questions and any ideas that you want to share so you can get to know Ed. Thanks.
Well, thanks, Julia. Thanks for everyone for coming out tonight. I think the events of the last week have demonstrated the importance of vision that works and the importance of people voting and participating. We are about to be on the threshold of a new dream for Florida, of building a 21st century transportation system, about to launch a $2.5 billion high-speed rail project. And the governor decided that that's not in the interest of the state of Florida. Well, I think it should be a call to action by people to say that your vote, your action makes a difference in who runs government. And that's an important issue because while most jobs and most things are created by non-governmental entities, by entrepreneurs, by homeowners, by people in neighborhoods investing in themselves, who the elected leader is a really important thing in terms of setting a tone and a vision and a leadership for a community. I've had a long record of visionary leadership, frankly. Done things like came up with the plans to save 35,000 acres of environmental lands, proposed a regional-wide rail transit system 20 years ago that we're still trying to figure out how to do, and we should get on with it. To say that the arena should be downtown instead of in a suburban location, projecting back in 1993 that if we build it there, someday we might host a national political convention. And lo and behold, we're hosting a national political convention after 3 efforts. We were in gridlock on water. It was threatening our environment, it was threatening our economy. And I worked with leaders from around the region to create a new regional authority that solved our water wars, brought in $1 billion of new public works projects, protected the environment, and secured our economic future. I left the county commission to go lead the Olympic bid effort because I thought Tampa Bay and Orlando together, this super region, bringing all these assets together, was the way forward for us to create a world-class competitive region and create great lifestyle options for the people who live here. New York got selected. The Olympic effort devolved into some great urban development plans, but not before the government invested money into the redevelopment of the I-4 corridor with a high-speed rail corridor down the middle. It's funny how visionary dreams and efforts lay the foundations and seeds for progress, and certainly the Olympic bid effort did that. I've spent the last 6 years, though, building affordable homes in a part of town that hadn't had any development in 50 years. And it's been the most rewarding and informative work that I have done. Where we built our model center was the 5th worst drug hole in the city. And I learned what all the barriers are to entrepreneurship and investment. I learned what's wrong. I understand what's right. And I think I know how to set what's wrong right, to make doing the right thing the easy thing. So what are we going to do as mayor? Three straightforward priorities. The first one's about jobs. And I'm going to use a football analogy here. So I apologize to the people who are non-football fans. But no one can go to the Super Bowl without blocking and tackling. And here in Tampa Bay, we have a housing industry that's in crisis. We have a construction industry with 30 to 40% unemployment. We have a practical unemployment rate of 15 to 18%, a real one, I mean. We have all these houses going into foreclosure, and it's a terrible problem, but it's also a wonderful opportunity to move forward. Because under a program I call Houses to Homes, we make it easy for working people who are renting to buy a foreclosed home, rehabilitate it, and turn it into a home for themselves. So instead of renting for $1,000 a month, they have a home they can own for $600 a month. In the process, they'll spend $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 improving that home. Everyone here and everyone listening knows what happens. Joe the plumber, Ed the electrician, Rhonda the roofer, all go back to work. It's easy. It's within our ability. It doesn't require us to ask Tallahassee or Washington, D.C. or Microsoft to come here to solve that problem. Another opportunity that's sitting here waiting for us is the fact that all our homes and businesses, almost all our homes and businesses, are tremendously energy efficient, inefficient. And a program called PACE, enacted by the state legislature, provides a mechanism whereby homeowners and businesses can get low-cost energy improvement loans to go in and spend $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 in case of a home to make their homes very energy efficient, cutting their electric bills, putting people to work, protecting the environment, and saving money. Again, it doesn't require us to go to Tallahassee or Washington or Microsoft. Another part of blocking and tackling is something I learned, again, from In-Town Homes. We have all these corridors, Howard and Armenia, Florida, Tampa, Nebraska, 21st, 22nd Street, you name it, you look at it. For 30 and 40 years, they have been stuck in time. You drive by them and you see all these old buildings, and you say, why? What's going on? How come everything's a used car lot? Well, the reason everything's a used car lot is because that's the only thing it can be. Because once someone says, I want to come in and build and put my office or my studio or my IT shop or a art gallery or anything, you name it, an ice cream parlor, into a 2,000 square foot building, we have to add parking. And when you add parking, you have to add stormwater. And when you add stormwater, you have to have green space. And when you do that, you're now buying the lot next door, hiring an architect and engineer to design it, and your costs have doubled, your time has taken a year to do it, and guess what? The economics don't work. So as a consequence, we have all these great neighborhoods on the rebound. Seminole Heights, Tampa Heights, Sulphur Springs starting to come back a bit, East Tampa, all wanting new growth and development, and yet the very things that we put in place to protect the environment and protect the residential streets from being overindulged with parking prevents anything from happening. Places and spaces trumps all that, making it very easy. The city goes in and it becomes an economic partner, puts the parking together, the stormwater together, creates an urban space for people. Now, an artist, an accountant, a lawyer, you name it, comes in and says, I want to do that 2,000 square foot building. Great. You can lease 5 spaces from the city and go pull your permits, do your building, and in 90 days you can up and have your business open for a fraction of the cost which you can do otherwise, and you're leasing the spaces from the city. All of these things, these 3 things, all are things that we, the mayor and the city council, can do to make it easy for people to invest in themselves. And this is blocking and tackling. The long game is, of course, nurturing new technologies and new spin-offs from places like USF and McDill and University of Tampa. That requires creating, and we're going to talk about that tonight, creating a culture of entrepreneurship. I'm going to go to the next priority. The second one is we need a transit system. there is no way we can move forward as a community without an effective, affordable, and simple regional rail transit system. And I have very specific plans to do that. That may come up in some of the questions tonight. But it entails buying the CSX tracks, using a technology that's a self-propelled rail car that ran here 13 years ago. You can go to my website and you see the train running on the tracks in Tampa, Florida. Oh my gosh, how hard is this? Well, somehow we managed to make it very hard, and we don't need to. Go buy the tracks from CSX, go deploy this technology, build a good bus system around it, build a good bike and pedestrian system to connect to it, create a seamless multimodal transportation system, and get on with it. Pinellas County wants to go back to the ballot in 2012. We should be joining them and saying, let's get ready for the 21st century. We cannot wait. The 21st century is here. If we study it more, we'll be halfway through the 20th century and we'll be further behind than anyone else. The last piece goes to this economic depression here, in the real estate industry at least, and the great consequence that it has been to public budgets. We've lost $9 billion of property valuation in 3 years. It's had traumatic consequences to the ability of local government to pay for services. We have to live within our means. Public budgets cannot come at the expense of private budgets. But at the same time, we need to continue to provide public services. And that means that the public sector is going to probably have to take some haircuts, just like the private sector has. It may require some compensation rollbacks, consolidation of services, privatization of some services that are non-essential. Government cannot be run like a business. I think everyone understands that. If you're having a heart attack in the middle of the night or someone's knocking on your door to break in, you can't say, oh, well, we're closed now. You got to show up. But that doesn't mean you can't operate according to sound business practices. Past administrations haven't done that. They've been kind of loose with giving a lot of deals that have drawn up the cost of government, have done some bad deals. During the Buckhorn, Greco, and Ferlita years, did 100 deals that cost taxpayers $100 million. Canceled plans on the Art Museum cost $7 million. The default on Central Ybor cost $16 million. And back in 1996, they bought a bunch of police vehicles and fire vehicles and did a headquarters for $25 million. But put the payment off and interest off of all that for 20 years. So now that $25 million deal is going to cost the taxpayers $95 million. And that bill comes due in 2015. We can't do those sorts of things anymore. And some of the people who are running for office saying they know how to fix it are the people who did the deals, who put the regulations in place, increased the impact fees, and never built a transit system. That's why vision counts. You got to know where you're going to get there. At any rate, that's longer than perhaps Julia anticipated me talking, but I want to just kind of outlay these things in anticipation of some of the questions we've received already on the internet and perhaps some questions we'll get tonight.